Mark, there's so many moments in that game. I mean, up and down, in between. As you sit here now, I mean, what's probably gnawing at you the most?
The right now, first instinct is the two third and longs that we had to get off the field to pull that thing back in there. Those were we had momentum. We had everything going our direction, and we let him out twice, and he made two plays. Okay, and those two plays were big plays, and those are the two things that gnawed me the most. And then after that, when he gets to be able to scramble around and stuff like that, turnovers happen too. But we had too many turnovers in the first half. But it was those two. Even though after that, at the second half, I knew we were going to win that. Thought we were going to win that game, and the way we were playing, it was those two downs hurt us.
You mentioned turnovers in the first half. You had two drives that ended in interceptions rather quickly in the second quarter. The run game was going at that point. What do you make of the play calling in the second quarter?
I'm not going to get into that right now. It is what it is. You go back in the games that we won, we didn't have any turnovers. The games that we lost, we had all the turnovers in. And ultimately, that's the name of the game when you go back and look at it. So I'm not going to get into play calling. It's just the turnovers is what created a lot of the issues if you look at it as a composite of a season.
When you try to put your finger on turnovers, there's a number of things that can lead to them. Looking back over a season's worth of them, is there any sort of, is there any one sort of thing that kind of sticks out to you that's provoked these throughout the season?
I'm trying to answer it honestly, and when you get your run game going, that's when all your big pass plays opened up. And then throughout the season, what really has happened is, when we lost Lane Pryor, that's your two tight end set that creates a lot of play action. And then we finally got Lane back. So we lost Lane, 3-4 weeks ago? I can't remember when it was, and that kind of changed the dynamics. Then we had to use Dez to be that guy, and then we finally get Lane back, but in that personnel group is where we made a lot of the play action passes and the runs. So you start to multiply all those things together. The consistency of a season, if you want to call it that, is, losing Lane was a tough deal. Losing Edwin was a tough deal, Edwin Dearman. That hurt us to the field because that's when we had everything set up. And then we got Ty back and Amari. That was a good 1-2 punch at the running back. But at the end of the day, we got too thin at too many places. And then when you lose a guy to a targeting penalty out there, on top of that, I mean, we're playing. I had a red shirt. I had a freshman out there that had my red shirt. That's the first time he took the field for us. It was today, and it's only because we had to make some moves. We're thin in areas, and when you get to this time of the season, by moving people around, it's starting to show up with. You can only hide your youth so long, and you can only hide your inexperience so long, and we ran out of players in some aspects. Not to disregard those turnovers, because turnovers are turnovers, no matter who's on the field, Theo threw intercepts. So you got to go back and look at why. But, it isn't all on Theo's deal, but we had too many intercepts. There's no question about that. And, even the fumble we had on the handoff, things like that shouldn't happen because they become turnovers or loss of downs. And you got to make plays. So I thought we won the line of scrimmage for the most part. But we didn't win the game because we didn't control the game because of turnovers.
Was the team playing tight today, given the importance of this one?
Nah, we ain't playing freaking tight. I mean, you can't tell me they're playing tight. Okay, you can't tell me they're playing tight. They were playing hard. All right, and I love this football team. There's great there. They ain't freaking playing tight. What they were playing was with one hand behind their back. All right, just like they've been all season long, and that's what has to get fixed. And that's the. You get me worked up. We've been playing with one hand behind our back all the time. Okay, and it's hard to create the wins all the time. We don't make excuses because that's who we are, but it's got to change.
The standard of the program is to make the playoffs, and for the second straight season, you guys haven't done that. Albeit you had some moments where you played some really good football. You won 6 of 7, I think it was this season. So, I mean, what's it like as you sit here right now and you process coming up short of your goals.
You can't lose 3 home games, okay? Can't do it. I've been here frickin' 35 years or whatever it's been. You cannot lose your home football games, all right? That's the first thing. But you also have to have depth. So you need everybody's got to be behind the program, from top to bottom, to get the depth, to get the talent, to get everything that you need to play in this league, okay? You can play in other leagues, but you can't play in this league. And I mean, you look at the teams that will be in the playoffs tomorrow in the top 10 format, and I'm telling you right now, you all know it. If that's a top 10 team, all right, and we just won the line of scrimmage, in my opinion, they won the game, so I credit them. But there's not much difference. They made some plays in instances. So I look at that. I look at all these teams that we played. So yes, I better be careful. I just know that there's ways to win this, but it takes a complete package to win it all too, okay, to get to the playoffs, because there's too many. This league is too good, and people are too invested in this league across the board, from South Dakota to South Dakota State to North Dakota State to Illinois State now. I mean, it's big.
You talked about targeting, and I think you talked about this before, just told me the answer. I'm just curious what your thoughts are on the targeting rule as far as punishment fits the crime, so to speak, or what you'd like to see that be.
The targeting fits the crime. That's a dangerous hit, and the crime's the crime. So I don't back that. That's, if it happened, it happened. Okay.